Listen, I don't know what it is that you might be going through, but right now in your current situation, what God wants you to understand, you must allow Him to have full control at this time. Because God says in Proverbs 12, verse 8, a man will be commended according to his wisdom, but he who is of a perverse heart will be despised. When God says a man will be commended according to his wisdom, He's telling you that according to the ways in which you allow God to move with you, you'll be rewarded, which means you have to be obedient. When you're being obedient to God, that means you have to be in a time period where you're leaning on His ways, leaning on His strength, by allowing God to have that full transparency of what's going on in your life. You have to tell Him how you're feeling. You have to tell Him the areas that you need Him to come into. Because the more you involve God in your life, He will allow your wisdom, He will allow your knowledge, He will allow you to be elevated in ways that will allow you to pick up the fruits of Him, which will remove you from the enemy, which will remove you from your captivity once you allow God in more. Notice this, God is not asking you to be perfect, because God is the only man that can make any path that is crooked straight, because God says in His word that there's no just man that walketh earth that sinned not. And when He says that there's no just man that walketh earth that sinned not, that means there's no person right now in this world that hasn't lived the life of sin, that God didn't have to correct that person or that thing. So don't come to God thinking that you have to be perfect. He wants you to be honest. He wants you to be transparent, because if you are a person who has a perverse heart, He's telling you that you will be despised, which means if you continue to want to live a life without rules, without any moral ethics, God is going to allow you to be turned over to the things of what you want to do, which tends to put you in a time period that's full of anger, depression, stress, which you will repeat cycles as if you will feel as if you're in hell. And what God wants us as people to understand is, when you invite Him in, when you allow Him to have control, you put yourself in alignment with peace, everlasting joy, and happiness. You will allow your life to come up rather than to be at a standstill. And what God wants you to know right now, if you allow yourself to be on His type of timing, He will allow you to be blessed beyond your wildest dreams. Stay blessed. Peace.